John Wright. It's the middle of the night. What time is it? Oh, it's 4:36 a.m. 4:20. Hey, well, anyway, I'm getting up in the morning. I wake up early in the morning usually, and I do things. Lately, I've been working on reconditioning my ankle because I've upset it apparently. I don't go to the doctors over a sprained ankle and stuff because I've had damage to this leg before when I worked for a logging company. Matter of fact, the injury that I've sustained on this leg was probably deliberately done to me because of, well, because who I am. My brother sent me to the logging company that this here happened to me, and maybe they was out to kill me on the job, and that's exactly what Mr. Wright would have done to me. You know, yesterday I had the opportunity to talk to my sister, and I don't get an opportunity to talk to her very long. And as soon as I had cleaned up my area, I put my 8-foot track in and stuff, and I was actually on Saturday, I was actually racing one of my cars around the track. And my sister Bonnie comes up behind me, you know, kind of like behind the boat and stuff. And, you know, it doesn't really startle me too much because it is my sister. And I get the opportunity to talk to her and stuff. And she's made it over to my side, all the way away from her side of the yard, over here to my far side of the yard. And, you know, trim down some stuff, and that's fine with me. You know, and I got an opportunity to talk to her. I hadn't talked to her in a long time, and she asked me about, you know, me being a Democrat. Am I a goddamn Democrat? I thought that was fucking funny. And this here woman, my sister, you know, she would come off like that, like a bit little. And I told her, I said, well, I am a Republican. I said, I'm a Republican, and I said, and this goddamn guy, Donald Trump's been ripping people off for a long time, and I got goddamn a lot of reasons. And I told her about that gold mine, and I told her about that book that's right there in the window of my motorhome right here that's facing the road where some guy was out there tapping on it. She's out there trying to play, you know, between me and that, I'm going to have to take care of this guy out here. And I said, you're not going to have to take care of anything. I said that, and I told her what that was about. And I said, you know, this is about people fucking harassing me and stuff right here, Bonnie. And, you know, we started talking about that D.B. Cooper thing. She says, well, he's scared of airplanes. No, it couldn't happen. He's scared of airplanes. Well, last time it was so, no, he's scared of heights. And I said, no, Bonnie, he's never was scared of heights. Me and my dad was on top of the roof of that bowling alley in Morton, Washington, putting that roof on. So somebody tells me that my dad fell off a roof and broke and landed on Judy down under the ladder because George was up doing a roof, the neighbor's roof, because George needed money and he'd take on little jobs and stuff to make money, and he slipped and fell, and they had combined insurance, and they had a insurance claim on that slip and fall too, by the way, to prove that he was up on there on the combined insurance plan. Whether they keep their insurance or not, I don't know. Combined insurance, like a combined rifle or something like that, you know. But anyway, my folks are, oh, this combined insurance. The combined insurance, man. Well, anyway, what I was going to point out is I've got a couple, 2 or 3 women here this morning, and I noticed that what they're doing is they're going Democrat. And for what, and I, you know, when I was outside and I said that to my sister, I said, well, I just wanted to, I thought I'd ask you some questions about women's rights. I said, do you think women should have rights? And that's what she says, something about a Democrat. Well, I'm sorry, but then I told her about them all living by signs and stuff and pointing out to her that we're on Delphi and Alpine here, and I go, and here I got our bowling alley here, Bonnie, Alpine Bowl. And I said, you know, Alpine Bowl's in Morton, Washington, next to the cemetery, and it's Brown's Cemetery. We got Brown's property right next door, Bonnie. I said, are you Is there something going on here, Bonnie? I said, is there an inside job? Is there for people forced to be complied? And she, she wants to change the story and stuff, and all of a sudden, Debbie Wright's sick down there in Lewis County. Debbie Wright's sick down there in Lewis County. She's not well. She's not well at all. And this just goes right back to the same old stuff, different day. All that they tell me about is how people aren't looking very goddamn good. She says, Jerry Wright looks just terrible. Jerry Wright looks terrible. And I said, well, Jerry Wright should look terrible. I said, he's locked himself in this barbed wire fence around his property and stuff, and he's painted his house gray from black, and all this stuff. And by the way, by this here point, she's already said this to me. She's already said, well, he's taking care of Mark's children now. Oh, I said, now Jerry's got Mark's children. You see, Jerry's a cooper, and he's keeping people's children and stuff to keep people in line. And that's no more than a form of kidnapping is what they're doing. Jerry kidnapped my sister's own daughter, Debbie, and passed them off as my sister. And this here becomes, Bonnie don't even want to talk about this issue, and I've already talked to her about it. So anyway, she's pointing out to me about Jerry's taking care of Mark's 2 children. And I'll tell you about the name Mark. Well, we have a Mark Fairhart up in Morton, Washington that was sitting on top of the bowling machines. And these Lebanon and these Hezbollah and these people, they mark it with a person. They'll use a person's name that's Mark, and they'll mark it with an X. And they'll put like Twin Star Credit Union on Market Street. And, etc. Now let's talk about the name Mark for a second. Mark goes over there, and now we have Justin Mark sits over there at the Fairways Bowling Center that they stole from me. So they've got a family member of mine named Justin Marks. That would be Debbie Ann Wright, the DA. You see, they were doing signs and stuff, my folks, and they were doing stuff accordingly to what they do, living by signs. 3 women, none of them's wearing red. They're all wearing dark clothes. I mean, and this goes across the board on Chatterbait. I mean, women don't want to go with this Donald Trump's bullshit. But I could see right now that my sister's all open for Donald Trump. I don't know if she's in love with Donald Trump or what, but I told her, I said, Donald Trump's nothing more than a criminal. And she said something to me about being a Democrat, and I said, Bonnie, I am the new Democrat Party, or I am the new Republican Party. I said, and maybe she doesn't like that either. And I told her, I said, when I look on YouTube and I see that I have 1.3 million viewers or whatever today, I know I'm up there, and I've been up there almost 1.7 or something like that. I don't know. I guess people are viewing it, or it's coming across content somewhere. But anyway, and I told her, I said, I've got this kind of thing. And she just looks down and she just shakes her head and she starts smiling. And I've out-fucking-foxed her. I goddamn outfoxed a lot of people. I've been ahead of them. And what are you going to do when I've rubbed shit all over in front of them? I said, now look at what this is. I fucking put out all this goddamn evidence, Bonnie. I said, right there's the fucking book in front of this motorhome. And I'm pointing this here out. She's all of a sudden, she understands. I'm going to hold my goddamn ground. And I also told her, about this guy out here that was out here kicking the foot, and she thinks she's got to come out there. I'll take care of it, like Marietta. And I'll tell you what, this about Marietta and everyone else. All these people want to do is jump in front of me when I was getting to the goddamn truth. And like I told Ernie, I said, if I got somebody out there, and Ernie made it to the point to come over here, and he said something, and I said, oh, by the way, I said, when you guys go out here, I said, I'd appreciate it if you didn't cut that open. I said, because if somebody walks around the back and I catch somebody out behind the back of this, I said, I'm going to fuck them up. I said, I'm just going to beat the fuck out of him. And Ernie says, well, don't be doing that. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him, and I'm just going to tell him. And when somebody comes, I'm going to say that you opened it up so somebody could walk right back in here, and I'm just going to tell the truth, Ernie. Because I'm telling you right now, I've been harassed. I've been harassed because of this D.B. Cooper stuff and all this here stuff. And I made it really clear to him in a nice way. And, you know, he came back and he did nice things for me. He went down to the grocery store, got me groceries and stuff. And I think they should understand, you know. Here, I can injure myself working out as strong as I can. Why? Because I'm going to kick the fuck out of someone that fucking bothers me. And if somebody thinks that they're going to come and bother me because I'm gimping, or I'm hopping around, come on down, as I say, because you're going to find somebody that you fucking went after somebody that's injured. I got a fucking bone, and I'm going to fucking rip your fucking face off now, as far as I'm concerned. Somebody wants to jump on me because they think I'm injured. They've done it before, and 2 people's got their necks broke already. Dan Stevers down in Lewis County is one of them, and he's an attorney that showed up at my house that ended up getting thrown right into the goddamn wall because I was on crutches. And Dan Stevers, he's an attorney, there's not a goddamn thing he could do about it. He couldn't even go to the police station because he came to my house with papers with talking about this boy that I was raising that was with this woman that I was with, this woman that I married for a brief period of time that was doing stuff. She was a felon. And when I caught her married to me and collecting welfare and stuff behind my back, being with me in a relationship, boy, I'll tell you what, she got goddamn 86 right out the door. And then she ended up giving the child to me because she couldn't collect child support from me because it wasn't my child to begin with. You know, but she passed it off as my child, but at the same time, the child wasn't listed as the father like that. And then all of a sudden, that woman turned the whole fucking goddamn thing upon me. Like, you know, they're going to come after me. Well, I put a stop to that really quick. And there's a lot of kidnapping and stuff that goes on, and they hold people against their family members. And this is what happens in Washington State. The cops are taking people's children and holding them against them. I know this for a fact. We need to fire the police. The cops are involved with the Republican Party. The Republican Party wants nothing but control, and they want it by doing this. And they also want to do a cuckoo where they're getting all these people invading the country. You know, I like the Biden border right now because all these here people that are coming in like this, they don't get automatic asylum. And that's one of the things that is a nice thing about that. So I want you to know that Mr. Biden is actually working forward, and Mr. Trump is sitting there saying, don't pass borders thing, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And he's running our country in a fucking bullshit pattern all the way through this whole year. It just got to goddamn stop across the board. And even the employees that work at Safeways and all these things, you know what? You're lucky we come in and buy groceries at your stores and stuff like that. And we don't need little goddamn spies down at their stores. And there's people, and I know this for a fact because I've went in stores and all of a sudden I have cops all over. Why? Well, I know now. I've had a door slammed right on me by one of the Shortridges in Lewis County, Washington. When I started walking out a door, the woman's name is Terry Shortridge. That woman called me up, threatening me one day over me coming forward and saying these things. You know, she says, I'm Terry Shortridge. I said, no, you're not Terry Shortridge. Terry Shortridge was murdered on my bed. So I want people to understand what exactly how this is and how it's bedded within. Feel free to contact me if you dare. John Wright, you know, Cooper's Air Force 101 at Outlook. Hey, often imitated, never duplicated. And it's almost 15 minutes and I gotta go. Bye-bye.